No, not yet. The Accra Mayor and Accra Regional Minister, I would like to say thank you very much, you guys. You are doing a great job. What we are seeing the Ashanti region from the Ashanti Regional Minister and also the Kumasi Mayor, we are seeing say now people are ready to work and we need to encourage them to work. Now, on say Nyome Koso Matese a year in crime. The Mayor Accra is doing extraordinary work. It's early days. We have seen some before. And we believe, say, this time the commitment now, almost show, and the approach, it will be different. And all the support that they need from us as Ghanaians, we need to at least help support the Greater Accra Minister, Nidin the Air Linda Oklu, I think so. The mayor, I don't know his name, but this guy is a fantastic guy. But I'll tell you the reason why. You say, Decongestion our markets. And our public places, in fact, our markets now, who say chaos be AC. Before NDC bar power, every time Becca say decongest a market near that day, it's a lot of demonstration chaos. But I will say, why this time? Why is that not happening? In the Ashanti region, we saw a little bit of tempest rising, but for some reason, say Obia quiet. Emma, the mayor is working, the regional minister is working. This is the Greater Accra mayor. He is doing a fantastic job. Now, there's something unique you are not watching or you are not really noticing, and I'm going to tell you. Now, social pictures we are made show now. You will see, say the people are at the end of the day. He is trying to get off our road. In fact, in the streets, on the streets, to move them off the pavement, the people are not agitated. They are not fighting back. So who's studying now share how Nyoma Ekoswa. You can see, say, even the traders themselves. Omwa Sebio Imrana Base. I was say obu free a quainim Ghana markets. We are supposed to see say demolition we and also be bufu. And go see who say bebre are reacting. Yabe kun tokwa, yani we yakun, yabe demonstration, but you are not seeing it. You are seeing people who are collaborating, who are basically allowing the process to go on. It's Yambusa and will say, what is really making this happen? Because Obibeka say, baby, omudi janye, adentina mayor naba, any regional minister naba, and the Kumaso kwa so move free kwa and the so be a demonstration, obi ku, Accra, so it's happening. Ask yourself why. The answer is simple. The approach of this government is different. You see, governance, debi amekacham say e nyansa ene de. It is not gidi. Enye buga. Enye mabuwe. Governance is all about using your intelligence. And you see, the approach now, the approach now, the Accra Mayor, the Accra Regional Minister, the Kumasi Mayor, the Ashanti Regional Minister, the Greater Accra Regional Minister, the Ashanti Regional Minister, the approach they are using is more of a human approach. Even though some of the people now, they also need to go home and feed their families, The mayor and the regional minister, both in Accra and Ashanti Regional, Greater Accra and Ashanti Regional, they have adopted a strategy to have this communication with the people. They have been able to let the people understand the importance of this exercise. And you see, we are going to get one or two people coming back on the streets. But you see, we need to be consistent. Consistency is not about being pushy. It's not about being bossy. It's not about being bulldozing your way through. It is not about suppressing people's idea. Right. It's about letting people understand. Say, this is a government. Ye tu anamobi na anamona ye tu no. Ebia ende unhuson faso. Ebia ende unhubeka. But in the future, no, we are all going to benefit from it. When this government starts to do that, this is what you see. You will see traders applauding a regional minister, applauding a mayor. You will see all these people coming together to help us build the nation. And in you are not seeing the resistance. You are not seeing the chaos. You are not seeing people fighting against the institution, because the communication, the dialogue is there. The mayor is making the people understand to say, it's an exercise, sir. At the end of the day, see to me keep streets clean. to me make sure say people are not blocking traffic, and that where you are supposed to sell, you are selling now. Even though it's going to be tough from the beginning, some people are going to drag a little bit. But from what we are seeing or witnessed so far, it is beginning to look like these people are communicating. They are leading when it comes to governance. The mayor is proving a point that enye gidigidi, enye ebro, enye debia anajo, ahumachi, machi excavator, mebubu daegu na chire say you are a leader. It's about you coordinating and relating to the people. You letting them understand why you are taking some initiative. And I expect majority of the regions, any other mayors to emulate this. Yewundi Esi Ashanti region. Right now, when you go to some part of Edum, any Kumasia, the streets are cleared. You will get one or two people every day coming to the street because we are human. Some people will not listen. Some people end up at the wrong side of the law, which is fine. But the holistic job is that, has that thing we are doing, what we are doing, is it going to change as time goes on? We are not supposed to use a day or 2 months to make sure the streets are totally cleared. It should be continuous. It should be consistent. We should start to inculcate. We should start to make the people start to understand that this should be our new lifestyle. The streets are for cars. The pedestrian walkway is for pedestrians, and that the markets are supposed to be behind it. Say, move away a little bit away from baby. Nobody is taking your daily bread from you. Somebody is trying to protect Eddie Nipana or no. Somebody is also trying to protect the driver now on for car and bobino. So we are all trying to help each other. So what I am seeing in Accra, what I am seeing in the Ashanti region, the Ashanti regional minister, the Kumasi mayor, in fact, the mayors are really doing a great job. And I expect other regions to learn. They should try and do what? And try to come together and understand. You see, human institution is a very difficult institution, especially where we live in a setting that we are comfortable with. I remember when I started doing my editorial, there were so many people in Ghana, not on share me show that, but to catch and I would never watch because you see Kevin Taylor and some more Canadian, Christo ni share Kevin Taylor, in Cremoni share Kevin Taylor did the attempt. There were so many people who never even watched me but already judged me. That is when I started this revolution of changing the way our politics is supposed to be done and how our media is supposed to do its job. It was tough because there were so many people in Ghana, so many of them, they had not ever watched me before. But because of what they have heard, because they didn't want to change, they changing a certain lifestyle or listening to a certain kind of radio and journalism. It was tough for them because so many people were used to coming on radio in the morning, lying to them, reading some captions and lying to the people. Using ebe to lie to Ghanaians. Kwekubako lying, Paul Ademotre lying, Egbert Faber lying. They saw these things going on. So they didn't understand why should a young man come in and be so blunt. So it was hard from the beginning. Today I can tell you, the people you see in Ghana, every important person in Ghana watches my show because they know this is a human institution. You cannot get things the way you want. Sometimes somebody's going to do the dirty job for some things to be done. The work, save your toilet, also be the toilet, and sana your community the more clean. If somebody doesn't do it, we are all going to die. So somebody's got to do it. And I want Ghanaians to understand, say, adapting to change is tough. And so Juma or Makola, Kejetia, whatever, Kaukudi for 15 years, and Oba the table sequemu. Everybody on that street, every single person knows, Mami I won't tidy and the table knew. That is where I the Juma Ediasha in Mawu school. At the Chinya Obaya will say, Bebu table, no, that woman is not going to take it easy with you. That woman is not going to take this as a joke. That woman is going to fight back. That young man is going to fight back. But when you walk to that person and let them understand that in the first place, this is not where you are supposed to sell. In the first place, where you are sitting is even wrong. In the first place, we need to make sure the right thing is done. So these kind of things, it is psychological. It takes time. The willingness should be there. And I don't want these people at the end of the day to feel like, say, am I in 1 month, 2 months, my advice to the mayor in Kumasi and also in the Greater Accra region, in Ashanti region, and I say, especially in the Greater Accra region, I know the will is there to work. The will is there to serve the nation. Now, all the streets in Accra, I know sometimes, you send your people to go there in the morning, go sweep the streets and come back. I want you to have some, at least every mile or half a mile, just build a kiosk and employ young Ghanaians to sit in that kiosk. Their job. So if you have every 200 meters in the market, on the streets, now there's a unique kiosk that can take one person to sit in. The Jumani say they are in a kiosk. So be in your direction, so be a percent street. If anything on the when it got to do with the street, they should just come to them. They work for the AMA or whatever. Those people, their presence alone, it will deter this woman from getting on the street to sell. People trying to come across to sell. You see, because you need constant monitoring, especially when people are supposed to change over a period. It is not easy. You need people to be having, you need presence. Presence and quantity monitoring. Sometimes they being there, Kekeno Krampon will send a message to their head and say, hey, in Konfono how, so I cannot put my things here. So you need your presence. Because you see, so we are there when the market is big, the streets are a lot of streets. You need to have posts because you cannot have cameras. You need to employ young people. You don't need to pay anybody $1 million, but every 300 meters, you need to have one kiosk that has been painted in a unique color. One person is in there. Nejumani said he's monitoring left and right. So be here, he gets out of there. He's in the uniform, please. Because Sandy Panayamani said, Jumano, so who may not drive for that's who will be Tomaha. Automatic, that person should be fired. Automatically, we're losing a Juma. Because the probability of some of them to taking money and making this happen is high. So you need to make sure constant supervision. When you do this, it is going to be tough from the beginning, but when it becomes part of us, we will start to change. The market should have unique kiosk. Baby, a street every stretch, you need to have about 3 of them. Open it up. Into him say 3 was swa, or him say Osasani Yamana Kohaba, stop Aquaha. And to Omo store him no, or him said this 300 meters is my territory. Nobody is supposed to do this job. So the woman will come to understand. It will be tough from the beginning, but as time goes on, they are all going to pull away. You need supervision, constant supervision. You can't do this today and say, Ochina, it is not going to happen. It's going to happen because we are used to this, and you cannot blame us because that is how we grew up. Into streets, the markets, get unique stores by the roadsides. Let the market people know, say, Wemo, they are the ones monitoring the streets. And those even monitoring the streets, they are being monitored. So what you do is they are there. Almost kiosk. When it's raining, they are in there. When it's shining, the sun is on, they are in there. They are monitoring. Or once you be able to cross up a ton, or say, please, do not sell here. So that is how it works. So when it goes on for some time, the market people come to accept, say, no, you cannot sell on the streets. This is a behavioral, it's a behavior thing. It is not a one-day thing. So let's not see it as and their core market and your palm dipaka krebi. It is not going to stop. Tomorrow, baby, I go palm dipaka. You might see some people there. You need constant supervision. The willingness to be there to do this. You need to do it, please. But I really appreciate the job they are doing. Now, you go into other matters. Obisa Kevin wheat in that way so wheat be see it be clear water, You see, it be clear water. We and the man for you and from. It's only what they say. Hey. All right, now, minority demands immediate publication of Doomsday timetable. You see, MPP minority say immediately. Mr. P, Mr. S. I was supposed to ask you for an Apple video, but it's fine. You see, minority or more parliament, the 88 MPs, MPP for more parliament, almost say no. Yamfa Doomsday timetable, NDC for Doomsday timetable, I want to tell Ghanaians something. Ghana for Sibio Majuni Yejuma. Nobody should take the minority serious. Ghana for say a person of mine will cause. Nobody in Ghana should take the minority serious. So I would take minority serious. Now, with all due respect, one can say, form. I'm not going to comment on this because Ghana ni bi onim nyanse bi anim say this does not make sense. Say minority way, MPP 4 way, omudi do some over 3 years. Ana and the Ghana obian to me can want some nyina yetnemu. Say in 3 months omu free power. Abeka kire say we should insist to say Edian was the energy minister no at the timetable bar. Nobody in Ghana should take the minority serious. Now say me video be no hindi because say nyome bia minority here especially Afenyo Markin ankasa edi minority ni mu ye no aya no mu bu Ghana for say ye Jimmy ni eti krom ha na ebusa napo energy minister under Kufuor Bawumia said dum so wo ho my timetable napo gina santimemu we gina bebia o ogina Kumasi e ka kire Ghana for say ye na adwin say eti dum so mu yenkoye ye timetable. NPP 4 they all supported Napo, they defended that statement. This government has never denied to say we are not having power problems. From day one, we buy Ghana for say a care dahoni, and we all know because we should not make it look like say NDC for free planet to be so no mobile. NDC for the tia, the family in an omni native and it's NDC for the power. No more question kratem catcher say a car ECG bottle ho. Afenyo Markin another pre no more ECG board so akwawi Afenyo Markin kasongo 99 na ot ECG board so omo no mutina ECG board so omo wia ECG containers cables ni nyina no this guy na ot ECG board so on another pre they are the ones who supervise the stealing of Ghana properties, about 2,000 containers from Temaport. These people. So what will make these men turn around and tell you, say, give us timetable? Abra, they supervised one of the most horrible, almost supervised one of the most corrupt ECG in energy ministry in the history of Ghana. Time and free power. Now a car was over $10 billion. A car, no my bo. So what will make them in 3 months turn around to tell us to say energy problem no omo per timetable? Then one, it means to say omo hu ya Ghana for say ye Jimmy. Omo hu ahim from Ghana ni nyina say ye omo Jimmy. Omo hu penifo ne nkwala nyina say ye Jimmy because omo adwene ye omo say what happened the last 8 years no ye refi. That is why they are doing this. So omo adwene ye omo say ye refi. What will make these people come around and tell us to say NDC are buying after they have committed this dangerous problem on the atumno. NDC are buying, their insistence say are buying no timetable. Now put na Ghana hakache as an energy minister. Okache nyina say ono hu dum so bia. Na mo amose moti dum so mu no. Mo ankasa mo kopem de mo confirm timetable. Ebe sinne. NPP, they have not apologized about this. Nobody in the NPP, Tumaka said, that statement from Napo is an insult to Ghanaians. This is Napo. As some catch the Ghana for no. These same people have turned around to tell us, say, oh, we have timetable.
If you are comparing 4 years, NPP administration, energy sector is 300 times better than Jomama.
But we are still experiencing doom so.
Nobody has said we haven't. I'm just saying, it's far much better than Jomama ever did.
You admit there is doom so in the country?
You do admit that there's doom so.
That is the word you used. I have never used that word. I promised you that we are going to work on it. And it's not a work that is a single event. It's a process. And we'll continue to work on it for the energy sector to become better.
Have you heard of calls for a timetable?
Ask those who want to bring it. For the energy sector to become better.
Have you heard of calls for a timetable?
Ask those who want to bring it.
They should bring the timetable.
If there is, I haven't seen any timetable. So
but people are calling for it.
Say bring a timetable. So what do you mean?
Have you heard of calls for a timetable?
Ask those who want to bring it.
They should bring the timetable.
If there is, I haven't seen any timetable. So
but people are calling for it.
Say bring a timetable. So what do you mean? The ECG says that there is no timetable coming. Why do you want to bring a timetable? What purpose? Why would somebody get up and wish evil or bad for the country.
No, it's not about how bad it is. Ghanaians are
Actually, so when it is not planned, when it's not planned, you can't tell the person.
So it's
you're in Ghana and Nigeria. Did you live in this country?
One, he admitted in that interview as the energy minister, said there is doom so. On the interview, Nebusan said, is there doom so? Say yes. We are solving it. So he admitted as the energy minister, said doom so. The journalist went further to say, what do you have to say doom so what they are? Then give us a timetable. Or say more timetable now must doom so no more print timetable. These people had no problem with it. So anytime I catch a Ghana for say, Sanko for we are Ghana now take NPP minority serious with all due respect. Now I can count. Because one, any rational being be an agony juma pa sebio or Nwangasa etamediano the corner no will never pay attention to these people. They don't respect Ghanaians. They see us as say Jimmy. They don't respect one, even a single Ghanaian. So why should anybody waste time on the minority, the NPP? Why should anybody do that? Nobody should do that. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of everybody's time. Because at the end of the day, why has he turned around to tell you, say, give me a timetable? I brought time and not power. One timetable. Why would that person today say we need timetable? It is because against a refi. It is because you people have short memories. And people, they don't respect Ghanaians. Teach you, they don't respect the people who follow them. I mentioned the Quintia MP before Ghana for Mahmoud Baumia. And the Baumia Kasa. Suddenly, Baumia is wise. Don't forget, this Baumia, he's the same Baumia you and I we know. So don't think some different Baumia. Mami Chobibi. Baumia na and the young na Okasano. 3 months ago, the same Baumia na ye nimu no nothing has changed. Onko di edro fufurobia, onko school fufurobia. Sa Baumia na ya kana sam Baumia Mahmoud ba onwani. Sa kwa wi. Bibian sesaye. Eyo noa. This guy. I want you to see me pesa Ghana for hu bibi. Nothing has changed up here. So Baumia no ni.
Economic mismanagement and corruption has resulted in Ghana turning to the IMF for a bailout. Fellow Ghanaians, Ghana's sovereign credit rating has been downgraded from B+ positive. Without oil, Ghana was being rated as B+ positive. Under the NPP, we now have today 16 million Ghanaians with unique identities. And that is a major transformation. A lot of people sometimes don't even appreciate what the impact of the Ghana card is. But if you gave me 1,000 interchanges and a Ghana card, I'll choose the Ghana card because it has more impact on development. Today, 16 million Ghanaians with unique identities. And that is a major transformation. A lot of people sometimes don't even appreciate what the impact of the Ghana card is. But if you gave me 1,000 interchanges and a Ghana card, I'll choose the Ghana card because it has more impact on development. Today, 16 million Ghanaians with unique identities. And that is a major transformation. A lot of people sometimes don't even appreciate what the impact of the Ghana card is. But if you gave me 1,000 interchanges and a Ghana card, I'll choose the Ghana card because it has more impact on development. Today, 16 million railways and ports. And for the people of Cape Coast, I have good news for you. We are building a new harbor in Cape Coast and a new airport in Cape Coast. It is very critical that we do that. An airport makes a lot of sense in Cape Coast. It's a real tourist hub, and between Greater Accra, Kumasi, and Cape Coast, you have a triangle that really is a lot of hub of economic activity. You can build railway lines between them, and it's a major growth pool if we put an airport here to drive infrastructure growth. Of course, we are going to continue to construct the Eastern Line. We are going to construct the Eastern Line and the Ghana-Burkina Line, which is also very, very much the Buankra.
Given the resources at its disposal, one should expect at least 4 to 5 times the quantum of investment that the NDC claims to have undertaken. The close to 33 billion of borrowing that has not been used for infrastructure expenditure could have done so much in this country. If you take $33 billion and ask yourself, what could you have done with $33 billion? You could have solved the water crisis in Ghana. You could have solved our energy problems. Every region in Ghana would have had 1,000 kilometers of asphalt road. We could have transformed agriculture. We could have put in place a world-class hospital in every region. We could have bought 1,000 ambulances for the Ghana Ambulance Service. We could have equipped our existing health and education institutions. And we could have built an additional 600 senior high schools that the government is trying to build currently.
And you don't understand. Get to a village and the people will gather. They will tell you, well, our major need is a borehole. There's 60 different budgets where we have been allocating money for development, both central and local. Many villages I went to, our major need is a toilet.
When I look at the economic management team, it is quite clearly a fantastic team. Professor Jambafo, Dr. Akotose, Dr. Afriye Akoto, Honorable Alan Chiramanting, Boachi Ejako, Ken Oforiata, Senior Minister Yao Osafo Mafu. What a solid team. In fact,
this is the same Bawumia. I did 3 months. Bibian Saye. There's nothing new about him. There's nothing new about Kennedy Japan. The same Kennedy Japan on the Jantra for Kuntokwa, we draw to say, we ask to say, it's the same Kennedy Japan. There's nothing new about them. Why should we even pay attention to 2 liars, 2 thieves, 2 criminals who don't speak the truth? These are the same people. There's nothing unique about this guy. He's a munafiki. He's a munafiki. Bawumia is 100% munafiki. He is a munafiki. You see, I want Ghanaians to understand, say, there's nothing unique about them. There's nothing new. It is because you're in opposition. They are making you think so many minyansa. They have learned nothing new. Bibifu frobie ni wa Bawumia ko sua abeka dana or the say Ghana no ho. Kade di mpodi onko school. Bibie ni wa sanko fora ko sua. Now, listen to Bawumia. I say, on my own behalf, the party and the government, I apologize to all of you, that's Ghanaians, for not getting the things right that we should have gotten. On my own behalf, the party and the government, I apologize to all of you Ghanaians for not getting the things right that we should have gotten. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Bawumia say, or no, any MPP no, omo ye den, omo de apacha o ma Ghana for. Nyame bia omo enya ne ye a osan komo ye a omo anye. Nyoma beng. Still ohun so we Jimmy. Still the MPP omo Ghana for say Bawumia hu ohun Ghana ni bia so we Jimmy. O say mo party no MPP mo be di Ghana so 8 years no mo ye nyoma bia na nkeni sa mo ye. Sa o pa acha wa kanyoma wanye. Because I may and then me call for confession. Some young criminal me masalachi. Na se me bon pa ya che onyankopon aka me bone ya cha me pay mu ka me bone. Ana I need to tell God what I have done wrong that he has to forgive me. But you cannot just walk into church, into the mosque, and just say, Nyankopon fa boni cheme. Boni ben na waya onyame fa boni chow. Because ye pay mu kan ye boni a. Bible ne kan. Or say wo pay mu kan wo boni a and onyankopon de chow. Now, the funny thing is, Bawumia is apologizing to Ghanaians. Bawumia is apologizing to Ghanaians, not in Ghana. He is outside Ghana apologizing to Ghanaians. That one is the first disrespect. Mahamudu Bawumia, he is apologizing to Ghanaians outside Ghana. Yatu Abaniwe is almost 5 months. He did not see the sense and respect in apologizing to us until he flew out of Ghana. And wakojina insuonechi and I'll say MPP name Bawumia ya bone monfanche me. Ana monfanche question and say bone ben na waye. Because ope mu kan bonia and unless it's you say Jimmy. Because before election 2024, when Bawumia met the press, he could have told the press to say, you know something, I have delivered. And that I have delivered everything and walk away. But when Bawumia met the press before 2024 elections, he was specific on the things that they have done that are positive that we should vote for them. Why didn't Bawumia just tell the press in 2024 before elections? I didn't think about Bawumia meeting press. No, one can say, I am Bawumia, I am running for president, I have worked, and just walk off the stage. But for a reason, he decided to stay on that stage to break it down for the pressmen and women there to know, say, these are the things that Mahamudu Bawumia said, why ye into Ayesha want to aba. This 2024, listen to him.
I mean, what is clear, I don't have to go through every sector. The data, for me, I speak only with data. The data is very, very clear that we have our government. We have outperformed the government of former President Mahama in the management of the economy in virtually every sector. Virtually every sector. You tell me whether it's GDP growth, whether it's per capita income, whether it is industry growth. I mean, virtually every sector we have outperformed him. So he either does not read or he does not understand the data. He needs to do one of the two. Take his time to read the data and understand what it is before he comes out to speak, because he will speak out of ignorance. Because if you understand the data, and I believe that as a former president, he does understand the data. He must understand the data. And I believe that is why he doesn't want to debate me. I believe so. That is why he doesn't want to debate me. He's running away from that. So if, according to him, we have mismanaged the economy in the midst of a global crisis, if our mismanaged economy is outperforming you in virtually every sector, this economy that you are saying has been mismanaged. We are performing you in GDP growth, in per capita income, in gross international reserves, in every sector, roads, hospitals, schools, everything. Free SHS, all of that. If this is the mismanaged economy that is outperforming you in your economy that had no global crisis, no crisis at all, but you couldn't afford chalk. You couldn't afford chalk, but there was no crisis. So if our mismanaged economy is performing better than your better managed economy, then in that case, you must not have been very good. Let me put it mildly. I was going to say incompetent. Because our bad economy.
I also have in the middle of the elections, you did not take your time to listen to Baumia. Look at his body language, how coherent he is, how he's able to basically process things, his presentation, his level of reasoning, his messaging. Also, I feel the one who say, yes. I feel I'm going to take a step back, right? You are now looking at the Baumia. You are now taking your time. Mr. P, now saying, Canada, Japan, so no so come economic lecture be Scooby. Get me that piece and let me show you something. I want to say, unya abutrena or share video we know. In the middle of the election, you don't pay attention to stuff. For 8 years, we were so stressed to the point we didn't watch the actors. I want to say right now, no, you are taking your time to listen. You're like, hey. You see, he was specific. He talked about roads, hospital, free SHS, virtually everything. He said virtually everything. GDP, per capita income, industry. But right now he says he's apologizing for things they didn't do right. What are the things he didn't do right? You are like, no. You are just a senior high school student. You are a first year student, university student. Say you are now beginning to be like, Darby, there's something wrong. Yes. Also, when you are like, something isn't right. The guy is empty. The guy just learned from a Kufuor Dems. They prepared him for you because they know, say, he can just lie. He does not know anything. Tell us. Dear, and Mahamudu Baumia say, Omo MPP for no onu leadi omo in 2024. Oma nyentra omo panwacha. What it is? What is it? Dear, what did they do wrong? They don't want to talk about it because they will remind you of your anger. Or you say, oh, bien no, I can't be inflation code 57 now. Or you say, okay, election killings, I will be angry. Or you say, okay, the corruption, the nepotism. Or you say, oh, resist our issue, now you be angry. Or Rezi Kenoforiata, how he stole from us, you'll be pissed off. Or you say, oh, Rezi Gabidin and the way family took over. Bedietuo, he knows. Or Rezi Aya also West Wagon. Or Rezi Aya issues 52 billion a year free. Ghana Commercial Bank in transit to Bank of Ghana. Already 60 billion loss of Bank of Ghana. Already gold for oil. He knows that these are crimes deliberate. He's doing politics which is covered in with lies. So I'm asking, and me busa MPP for no, ba omiande wa kwabrochire e na opa ye ne Ghana for Ghana chew. The biggest insult to 2482. The biggest insult to Ghana near or Shemi. Also, unya butra utie ba omiano. Anytime I catch Ghana for say, why are we wasting our time on the NPP? Ba omiani Kennedy Japan. At this point, why? Why should any Ghanaian ajuni juma? You just listen to ba omiame boa. Now, this is his counterpart, Kennedy Japan. Now, Kennedy Japan is also a economic lecture. Or my economic lectures. Now, take Kennedy Japan. These are the two people. They left power in less than 5 months. So suddenly, Kennedy are better than economists. Only economy in some. Yeah. Now, listen to the other partner, Kennedy Japan.
It's temporal. It is not any economic gurus in this country that is causing the city to appreciate and the dollar to depreciate. It is the wealth market that they are not demanding the dollars as much as they used to. That is why there's no competition and supply of dollar is exceeding the demand. As simple as that. These are basic economics principles. So we have to be careful with what you are saying about interest rate and all those things. It's not magic. It is the world economy that is falling apart. And the demand for the dollar has gone down.
You see. Kennedy said the world economy is falling apart. Anything and the Ghana dollar number format cedi na kosro. A world economy na falling apart. So say, unya butana wutie gofo we ya. This is Kennedy Japan. And there's also Central University. Na mo amugu Central University, mo Jimmy Chain bibia. Na me ba makotwe sika se Central University. Akwa we ne gina we nimu lecture o. Alright. Economy. Kennedy Japan say world economy no. And I explode internet and the city nya hoden. Togo omonka world economy ho. Nigeria world economy omonka. Other African countries world economy, Ghana and Kwani US and a world economy. These are the people, the MP, finest bedestry. Creme de la creme ninko for me nu amade actually. Kennedy ni ba omi. We mu mienu. And almost say yemfa Ghana. Emfama o we mu mienu baako. Na nkwasiafo mienu we. Say nkwasiafo be di say Mahama nko di president 12 years. How? Say nkwasiafo mienu be di president. And then Mahama di president 12 years. How? Why? How did we get here? These are FMs. They are full mental. Okay? Mr. P. So when you are would take the Japan any day. Or a full mental or FM. As some say, maybe you've not taken your time to listen to Kennedy Nibawumia. And I am just say we allow these people to lead us for 8 years. Now listen to the President of the Republic speaking on why today the economy is doing well.
The Ghanaian cedi, which depreciated by 19.2% in 2024, has shown signs of recovery, appreciating by 3.9% against the US dollar by the end of April 2025. This has been supported by stronger forex inflows, improved trade balances, and growing investor confidence. Our gross international reserves have improved further from $8.98 billion in December 2024 to $10.6 billion by April 2025. This is equivalent to almost 5 months of import cover. The Ghanaian cedi, which depreciated by 19.2% in 2024, has shown signs of recovery, appreciating by 3.9% against the US dollar by the end of April 2025. This has been supported by stronger forex inflows, improved trade balances, and growing investor confidence. Our gross international reserves have improved further from $8.98 billion in December 2024 to $10.6 billion by April 2025. This is equivalent to almost 5 months of import.
This is the President of the Republic. Ocho, what is making this dollar weak today against the cedi? He gave reasons. How can you compare Kennedy Japan to John Mahama? How can you compare Bawumia to Mahama? How can you? Why would you even do that? He is stating facts. The cedi has appreciated 3.9%. And he stated the reasons why the cedi is doing well. Apart from the gold for oil policy program, our reserves today, our reserves in terms of gold and dollar is over 10.6 billion sitting at the Bank of Ghana. That is Yesika in terms of reserves, gold reserve dollar, over 10.6 billion dollars. It is sitting in the Bank of Ghana. He's talking about the reason why the dollar today is at 12 now, dollar and I week is because it is supported by strong forex inflows. Dollar say back Ghana. Why? Because we are doing a lot of the export instead of a lot of import. Today, people are bringing dollars in to do business. Investor confidence is high. Obia no kuta $100 million so abontina no usro say Odibe Ghana na DDEP beji the CKD and our banking na any stable on your shore of the banking sector no, that person today is bringing that money in, and then your friend no, had a stronger forex inflows, dollar every approach ba, and we are seeing it. He also spoke about the growing of investor confidence, and he also spoke about how these things are all coming together. And so, because you see, in an economy, a lot of things come together to make an economy strong. The reason why our economy died 5 months ago and the Kufuor Bawumia Kennedy Mune say the confidence was not there. Bogus be riba mo abrochire na mo pese mo de musika kwakwa to Ghana because mo anamo mo invest in bonds, mo anamo invest in gold, mo anamo invest in everything. You are scared. That is what we call investor confidence. Our mind be also because a sika dollar beba minim. Until we the bogus, we were keeping the money to our chest because we were scared. We could not believe Mahamudu Bawumia's the policies. Because DNMA in 5 months ago in 2024, now dollar boga now shebe now usro. So we usika be to Ghana. Then usro because of the policy Bawumia de buy. It was because of idea na Bawumia de chichirema as the head of the economic management team. It was because of nyoma abandoned to kwemna enye papa. Enti adebe chine sa wote se Mahamudu Bawumia kasa asem way about the city or say city appreciation. If you ask a simple question to the NDC to point out exactly what policy, what is policy? Mr. S, get me the meaning of policy. Get me the meaning of policy. What policy they have implemented that has resulted in the appreciation of the city? They cannot tell you one. Or see, and ubusa NDC for say a dear policy and no more implement here ama dollar no and what the above for city regions or say NDC for to me control. And I mean busa ba I say what is policy? What is policy? Is it policy as a word or policy as steps or things you put in place to make sure things are right? Because you can say the car has gone for a review. And I said the car for a review. And I said the car mechanic for a regular check. And I need a word. Medical way call a mechanic for the mechanic to do a review. For now, let me just use that word. Dear mechanic in air to tell you, say this car has passed that test, that roadworthy test. Because I don't think it's a mechanic or no, I can say car not pass a test. No. And now it's just bringing the car to the mechanic automatically. And my car is worthy of being on the road. Because if you say policy, is it by just saying the word or what is in the policy that is at the end of the day servicing, taking the car to servicing? At the end of the day, it change BBR. Because I can say what we say NDC for say, I'm on policy. Mahamudu Bawumia, how many policies did you present to Ghanaians from 2013 to 2024? He goes on to say that they only passed their budget in March. They have not even issued any contract and paid for anything. So you cannot ascribe what is happening to the currency to a policy that they have implemented. Into this year, NDC for omo passy omo budget renche. Into dollar na and the echo from no untumin kase NDC for a bibi sunkumbia because omuntumin ka policy bakwa omutumi die jina so ama dollar na bafom. To me, if the NDC cannot tell me one policy, that's a dollar na bedu true a 12, the NDC should not tell me any policy. Because he told me so many policies and he moved the dollar from 3 to 17. If the NDC today, they come out to tell Ghana for say, we are not going to tell you any policies, but the dollar is going to come down. They should not give me any policy. All that I need as Obiam Beton engines, Obiam Kofanyama, Obiam businessman, I need the dollar to drop. For you, Bawumia, to tell me policies for 8 years, for the dollar to move from 3.8 to 17, I would rather stick with the party that will not tell me any policy, but the dollar will come down. Actually, wait, Jimmy. Actually, this guy, he sees all of you. Oh, say, the style of politics, you know, the JHS kind of politics, the primary school kind of politics. Boy, be now say, or yet show be or skate, you know. Boy, be no doorbell, no, cheddar, the cheddar kind of politics. Oh, Kotie, The Omekana Bekachre Menamen Kanche Ghana for a cheddar kind of politics that Baumia. Baumia is doing the cheddar kind of politics. Cheddar. Bellboy cheddar kind of politics. Inti debiano, say koye man dia obey the day, and koye dia you'll be fault. Mahamudu Baumia is playing the cheddar kind of politics. Now, what is policy? Because when the president of the republic, Berman Yansafo Kasano, he spoke about how the reason why the dollar is going down, and what did it echo from to say it is being supported by strong forest reserve. How do you get dollars into Ghana? So President Mahama Kase, and the dollar, I appreciate it 3.9%. And the reason is that we are getting a lot of dollar inflows. The question is, how do you get dollar into your country? Do you need a policy to get dollar into your country? So how are you going to get dollar into your country? Something needs to happen for dollar to come into your country. If you knew that this policy will work, why didn't you get dollar into the country? Mahmoud Baumia. Huh? Onse Baumiano, he is in a political party. Majority of them are illiterates. Majority of them don't go to school. In Tomu Baumiaso or a Kratchini in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is the king. Majority of Omomo MPP Muno, Omunko school, Omonte Brofo. Into Omu Baumiaso Nyansa, and it's every time Biano, NDC for who Baumia Muhunu say as a joker. Because there are more learned people in the NDC. They understand the facts. They question the system. But 90% of MPP for in their head, Baumia is intelligent. That is why they are still hailing Baumia. Because see a political party on person chairman would to me ebe regional chairman. It should tell you the level of intelligence our party no a woman. 90% of the people in the party, they are illiterates. Omu ko school. Inti omu bodam nibi also a ko school. They see him as God. That is why Baumia is making his way inside MPP. Now, what is policy? Now, Afenyo Musa Baumia. Policy now, Kano. This is policy. Let's try and read policy. A policy is a set of principles. It's a set of principles, rules, guidelines that govern actions and decisions within an organization, government, or group. Policies are designed to create consistency, fairness, and efficiency in how things are done. These are the four. What a policy. Mahmoud Baumia say, NDC for enka one policy ama and the dollar neko form. Na NDC for to minka. And I may explain what is policy to you. You say policy is a set of principles, rules, or guidelines that govern actions and decisions within an organization, government, or a group. You say policy. Ayemra. And it's sebio injina sobia. Ebo eye kuo or mine. And it's sebio eye de organization ho ban. Emma sebio de omo yeno. Omo sebio anamo omutuno. Sa eye de injina so. And it's sebio eye de eye yakase principles sa. Just say nyoma utumi there are a set of principles. Eye nyoma wujina ho ebo dia wo ye no ho bra. Dia wujina so. Edema ade amoye as a kuo. Ade amoye se oman. So oman pese omutu anamon bia omuhia principles. Yewo akwan bia ani akwankyere bia wo se mofa so. Nyoma bia niye bia wo se mudiso. Emra bia wo se mudiso. The principles. It is a principle, a policy. Emra kwan, anamon bia osa mutu. Anamon bia sebio osa mujina so ede chichiri mukuo. Anasa mumai, anasa mudi tumpon. And then your friend policy. Inti policy no answer na policy di be adwuma no unya anamon tuo bia obejina so. You need some principles. You need adebia also gina so ansa na policy na ayedwuma wo manim ana eku a wo ka ho ene ne bo ho ban e bo ho bra. Itiba omia se ede na NDC fo aya ama and the city no akofoma omon kan kire the NDC aye ne se ntokro na eda Bank of Ghana na nkofo wia Ghana sika no almost si santokro no. So when it comes to blocking leakages, how our monies were being taken by people, It is one of the principles to me make sure say blockage of leakages. Sika na enyunua na yenim baby ekwa ema Ghana sika say. One of the principles. Accountability. Baby a oman sika ko biano aban we make sure say sa sika na ekwa no aban eni die chire. Yefra bibi prudent revenue collection. Aban no senia sika ojeje etwa ojeje sa etwa no beka aban sa aban endi yemfama jankroma emfa nkoto wi yemfama gabi yemfama ekufuado enko high private jet sa revenue collection no aban ni make sure sa nyoma ni nyina no sebio ne di akire a ebema sika befi ene na friend principles into when these principles come together it becomes a policy. So when you're not able to follow through the principles and then you're from 2017 to 2024 the principles were not followed. Which principles were not followed? How to make sure accountability works. It was not followed. Nepotism took over. Corruption, we could not basically collect revenue to the point where we as nation, from the taxes. The revenues we were collecting, it was going into Haptel, which is your company. We are talking about ECG, leakages at it. So the principles now NPP went to make this, and then I say or minor. The NDC are seeing these positives because the principles, they are following the principles. To get a policy, it is your ability and your will to follow a certain principle that will guide or govern your actions. Into John Mahama kase, mena me ya president, and the meti hey, me be a friend Mahama case, me the salary 6 months to me vice president salary to, obi a friend sanka says can a principle. You need to follow the principle, and then that action needs to be guided. But it's not Kromha, not president, a tam Ghana sika, echo hand rent plane. No catch say or percent or that area or percent or do so area. The president, the vice, they are not following the principles into who is going to be affected. It is us. I am making politics simple. Into Baumia Krampono, he does not understand policy. He is just using words. These are format here. Into uti policy. Engineer so send beya wan kasa obehya wo ho so send beya obedim ran so na abon ho ban abon man ho ban na edede edimpuntu aba enti a cluster of principles comes together to form a policy and then e gina so ede chekere man enti adekudi enti and the dollar no edu 12 and say it is because NDC abano are flowing the principles through. When you follow through the principles, you will get the results. And that is what you are seeing today. And then also say Mahamudu Baumia ni nyansa de chichire man or a textbook economist. On tiasie a kasakeke because when you live in a country, a third world country, now the $58 million you are not being principled. Your actions are not being governed by the principles. Until at the end of the day, the people will lose. Into policy, it is nothing. Policy is just a word. There are components that comes together to form policy. And Nona, we are missing. And that is the principles John Mahama is following. And those components, when they come together, it will move your dollar from 17 to 12. Mr. P, Mr. S. This is Mahamudu Baumia. He said he introduced 33 policies. And Amebwa, meaning cluster of principles coming together to get 33 policies. The question here is, the 33 policies by Baumia in opposition, in power, say or introduce, how did it impact Ghana, our economy? 33 policies should be able to leave the dollar at 9 or 4 before you leave office. This is the joker.
Choboy, enti usha ejuma mabeye as vice president. The entire me person move voting money as president. Number 1, usha ejuma mabeye as vice president. Let me kind at least 33 policy initiatives are Mediaba in government. Digitalization and one constituency, one ambulance agenda 111.
If you look at my work as vice president, I can mention several policies I have championed. Everybody says no vice president has worked hard more than I have.
So many different policies are my championing in government. Nina akosi obia kase ushe vice president sa omo ba wa Ghana ha Unya Vice President Awaya Ejuma say Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Unya Vice President. Ubisa John Mahama say Obedi Vice President on pointing out one policy. Bakupea or the buyer. Baku me 33. On pointing out.
Asked my opponent John Mahama what he was able to achieve as vice president. There is absolutely nothing. Promote me from vice president to president.
Only Bakubo 33-0. Enti munyinamunim say vice president Ejumano mapasi. Enti mum promote me na munko president. Me we vice president Ejumano. Bakubo 33-0. Enti munyinamunim say vice president Ejumano mapasi. Enti mum promote me na munko president. Me we vice president Ejumano. Mum promote me na munko enkodi president Ejumano. Munyina munim say agrono abaso a efri anapatututu. Ena anono na munim say agrono abaso pa. Abaso pa. Efri anapatututu. Ena anono Ejumano. Munyina munim say agrono abaso a efri anapatututu. Ena anono na munim say agrono abaso pa. Abaso pa. Apatututu. Ena anono na mumu say agrono abesopa. Abesopa. Na mumu say agrono abesopa. Abesopa. Na mumu say agrono abesopa. Abesopa.
Afe unya butre. Me nyamba ba omiani Kennedy so. Make sure the kind of people they are. This is the guy who almost became president. This is the guy. He almost became president. Yanya fast. Say anka me ni andawa. Anka ko in come pushing my by force. Say president. This is the guy who almost became your president. This is the guy. Now take a step back. Afenyo will consume me. Afenyo will take it. Utie ba omi onot mi kasara wasre. I just say ya body too shire. Otumi kasara wasaso sire. Sit back and analyze. Share the body language. Share the cohesion. How coherent he is. See the way he's able to dialogue. I swear to God. Kakwe be the president. Sanko for we on it the partner we.
What will be the first thing you do as president if you're elected in 2025?
Changing the mindset. What I'll do is, and I've started. It's good you came up with this question.
We are signing out. I just wanted one thing you do.
I'll bring all musicians together to let them come up with heroic songs, and we'll organize a concert like We Are the World. R&B, High Lives, reggae, gospel, they all come together. And I've started. It's good you came up with this question.
We are signing out. I just wanted one thing you do.
I'll bring all musicians together to let them come up with heroic songs, and we'll organize a concert like We Are the World. R&B, High Lives, reggae, gospel, they all come together. I'll bring all musicians together to let them come up with heroic songs, and we'll organize a concert like We Are the World. R&B, High Lives, reggae, gospel, they all come together.
It's tough. It's not a joke, guys. And then Keka woman can Muhammad be president another 12 years in camp. Why? There's no job left. The question here is, see idea pan about Umiani Kennedy person obey. That is a simple question. Baumiani Kennedy. Mo Facebook pages and mo TikTok for me busamu. Baumiani Kennedy mo be because it ran out the dollar is stable. And I'm a boy. Dumso is being fixed. And the plant, you see gas plant. Another gas plant is going to be built again. Parliament BR. NDC are buying airside another bill. The second plant. Meaning our energy problems is going to be solved. And I'm a boy. We are talking about a year employment. Today, we see a Jumapa. We see entrepreneurship. we see the government and YEA, how and the police ever befanipa, and they are partnering with private entities. People are getting jobs. Now we are talking about Women's Bank, which is coming. Now we are talking about ADA. In summer NDC as we speak today, they are all being rolled out. Betting tax ye free, but Umiana de Baye, Kennedy Muna de Baye, Omnonko about our parliament, Omojitum, NDC, Jomahame ye free. COVID-19, ye baby ye free. Emission, a ye in Wusia tax ye free. A ye, they say about Umiane and MPP, Mobile Ding, a dear partner will hobium. Galam say, as you can see, the fight is ongoing. Every single day, arrest